How's it going? So it's pretty damn hot today and we've got to run some errands in the town just down from where we live, so let's go. So we got everything done that we needed to get done and just pretty much taking a break in the shade right now because it is surprisingly hot for the middle of September. So, you know, just having some rest, having a drink. I wanted to mention briefly one of the things that I got in the town, which is Tart cherry extract. And I mentioned it in a video before, a video about lucid dreaming, and I was talking to somebody recently who was saying that, you know, they're on this very specific diet that is very much tailored to their personal situation, and they're doing all these things. They're taking all these herbs, all these supplements and all this stuff, and it doesn't seem to be quite working the way they want it to. When I kind of asked a few questions and dug a little bit deeper, I discovered that they were actually going to bed at about 2 a.m. every night, and, you know, they really struggle to go to bed earlier than that. And when they made that change and actually tried to get to sleep earlier and align more with their circadian rhythm, it really allowed much of what they were doing, diet-wise, herb-wise, therapy-wise, all of these things, you know, it allowed them to actually work way more efficiently and more effectively. And they started to see the kind of results they were after within a couple of weeks. And the circadian rhythm is a pattern, a cycle that we see in nature. We see it in people, animals, plants, fungi, and even in bacteria. And it's like a 24-hour cycle with a number of microcycles within that overall 24 hours. But, you know, to keep it really simplified, it's just basically the sleeping-waking cycle. And within that, we have lots of healing and repair and all this kind of stuff taking place. So when we're out of alignment with that, because that's our body's endogenous cycle, it's happening internally, it's within us, but it's interconnected to the day and night cycle, the rhythms of nature that's actually existing outside of us. So the two are not really separate at all. So when we're living completely out of alignment with this natural rhythm, we find that we have all kinds of hormonal imbalances. You know, we're not healing and repairing efficiently, we're not really recovering properly. We end up waking up, even if we've had a lot of sleep, if we didn't get the right amount of sleep at the right time, then we can end up having, you know, like 12 hours sleep or something and feeling like absolute shit and having to release a lot of adrenal stress hormones the following morning just so that we can be upright, moving around and getting stuff done, you know, so it's really not a good state to be in. But so many people are driven into this now with, you know, modern lifestyles, like the way people are in artificial lighting, they're staring at screens all the time, you know, we're waking up really early to get work done, we're going to bed really, really late, like I said, with artificial lighting and all this kind of thing, which is interrupting our own internal circadian rhythm. So our pineal gland in the brain isn't releasing our sleep hormone melatonin at the right time. So, you know, everything gets thrown completely out of whack, and we really suffer a lot by doing that over the long term and even really the short term. Plus, a lot of people are relying on stimulants to just, you know, get through the day, be really productive, and then they find because of, you know, like caffeine, for example, has a 6-hour half-life, so if you're having caffeine in the afternoon or the evening, you still find that you're really wired late at night, and, you know, you're really struggling to get to sleep, having insomnia and all that kind of thing. So when we get into this circadian imbalance, obviously by adjusting our bedtime, you know, trying to get to sleep, generally between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., that's where the majority of healing and repair takes place through the night. You know, we have a number of different sleep cycles. A very heavy sleep cycle is going to be more of a healing and repair, whereas the lighter REM dream cycles are going to be more allowing our brain to problem solve and to think clearly, have clarity, and just generally be perceptive and productive cognitively. And the kind of time that you should be aiming to go to sleep really depends on your personal constitution. It depends on where in the world you are, you know, which climate you're living in. But generally speaking, I think it's generally accepted that between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., that's when the overwhelming majority of healing and repair takes place. So it's a good general guideline for adults to maximize on their healing and repair, and obviously for younger people, for children, to be maximizing on their growth. It can be difficult, you know, it can be difficult to just change everything all at once and actually realign with this natural rhythm. So often we can do with some help, you know, and it's always better if we can to be using natural means to do that. So by using a Tart cherry liquid extract, which is what I got, I mean, I get amazing results with that. And the reason why it works is because that particular type of cherry, it stimulates the secretion of melatonin, your sleep hormone, from the pineal gland. So if you can take a small amount of that in water, and you take it like about half an hour or something before you go to bed, for me, that just puts me in a much deeper sleep, much more restful, and it really enhances my dream activity as well. You know, I'm more likely to have a lucid dream if I'm practicing lucid dreaming at that time when I'm taking this. Now, obviously, eating properly and, you know, getting outdoors, fresh air, getting exercise, all this kind of stuff is clearly really important. It's an important part of the whole circadian rhythm, and actually being tired when that evening time comes around and you want to go to sleep at that time. But, you know, due to other things going on in life, it's not always possible. So taking something like this, it really helps. You know, even if somebody is kind of sedentary, they're really not getting a lot of exercise, and even if they're not eating that well, this product is likely still to work. Well, we're going to have to head back because a friend of mine is opening a holistic, health-conscious gym tonight, which is going to be super cool. So it's his big opening tonight, so we need to get down there, and we've got, I don't know, like, what have we got? About 8 miles to ride to get back, so that's pretty soon. So we're going to have to get going. So we just got back from my friend's grand opening of his new gym. That was really cool, and I'm going to try and squeeze what's left of the daylight today. I'm going to have a very brief trip to the skate park, see if I can just tire myself out and assist that circadian rhythm so I can be really tired when it comes to bedtime.